This is Background Nippon. There is nothing here that needs your attention. What follows is Japanese history, told slowly to the end of the day. The lanterns are lit. The island appears in the porthole as you pass it on the ferry south. Most passengers don't look up. Toshima is easy to miss, a steep green hill rising directly from the sea, roughly circular, its highest point little over 400 meters. There is no natural flat land. There is no beach to speak of. The port is a small concrete breakwater on the eastern side, and from it, a single road winds up the slope to the settlement at the top. About 300 people live here. The ferry stops for 20 minutes, unloads whatever Toshima ordered from the mainland that week, and continues south. For the passengers who are not getting off, the island is a pause between longer islands, a brief appearance of green and black rock before the sea opens again. But for the 300 people who are getting on, or not getting on, this is home. Toshima is a stratovolcano that has not erupted in recorded history, though its volcanic origin is visible in every surface. The rock is dark basalt. The soil, where it exists, is thin and volcanic, good for a specific kind of cultivation and poor for most others. The island is steep enough that farming requires terracing. Platforms cut into the hillside at intervals, holding soil that would otherwise slide into the sea. The camellias that define Oshima to the north grow here too, smaller and lower to the ground in the island's harsher wind exposure. The sea cliffs that drop from the rim to the ocean are among the most direct in the Izu chain. The island falls straight into the water on all sides with very little softening. It is a geological argument for verticality. Everything on Toshima goes up. Like every island in the Izu chain, Toshima received the people that Edo found inconvenient. The island's small size and near vertical terrain made escape impossible and observation simple, qualities that any authority managing exiles would value. The exiles who came here came knowing that the mainland they could see on a clear day was not a place they were returning to. Some of them were ronin, samurai without masters, after the consolidations of the early Tokugawa period. Some were priests. Some were people caught in political currents too large to resist. The island held them with the impersonal completeness of geography. No walls were needed. The sea was the wall, and the sea was permanent. 300 people is a particular kind of number. Large enough for an elementary school, small enough that everyone in it knows every other family, large enough for disagreements to matter, small enough that they must eventually be resolved. The island has a primary school, a clinic, a small community hall. The high school students commute, by ferry, to the mainland or to Oshima, which means that growing up on Toshima involves a weekly or monthly crossing before the age of 15. The children who leave for school tend to return less often as they get older. The island's population has been declining for decades, as it has been declining on most of the small Izu Islands. The school that runs today has fewer students than it had 20 years ago. This arithmetic is legible to everyone on the island, and no one talks about it the way an outsider might. The island grows what the terrain allows. Camellias for oil, some vegetables on the terraced fields, where the volcanic soil holds moisture well enough. Toshima is also known, to the people who know it, for its azaleas, which bloom in spring along the paths that wind up from the port to the residential area. The flowering season is brief, as it always is at this latitude, and it passes without fanfare because there are not many visitors here to make it an occasion. The blooming happens for the 300 people who live on the slope, and for the birds that nest in the camellia canopy, and for no one else in particular. This is not a diminishment, it is simply what a flower does when it is not watched. In typhoon season, Toshima bears the weather directly. The island's position in the Philippine Sea places it in the path of the storms that build over the western Pacific and track north and northwest toward Japan. The port is exposed, the community on the hilltop exposed. The trees that have survived here are the ones that learn to grow low and hold tight. The buildings are built accordingly: thick walls, small windows, roofs weighted against the wind. The ferry does not run in these conditions. The island is on its own, as it has always been on its own when the sea decides to close. The people who live here have calculated this into the terms of the life they have chosen. The typhoon season is not an emergency. It is a season, and it ends, and the ferry comes back. The ferry south does not wait. It loads, unloads, and continues. From the breakwater at Toshima, you watch it move toward Niijima, which is visible on clear days as a pale line on the southern horizon. The chain continues, each island smaller or larger than the one before it, each one shaped by the same volcanic geology, each one holding a community that chose to stay at the edge of the continental shelf and make something of it. Toshima is not the beginning, and it is not the end. It is one of 11, a small green hill in the middle of the arithmetic of the chain, present and largely unremarked, doing exactly what it has always done.